Yeah, so this is a declaration to the national state of affairs. We can no longer keep our silence about the current Korean government in power, ever so desperate to cover up the immoral privatization of the executive powers, which was given by the nation with respect and trust that it would be for the people, by the people who care only for the best interest of the country, not of their own. When at first this incident arose, 청와대, or the Blue House, had regarded this all as a rumor and rather promised a stern legal action against extinguishing these presumed rumor makers. And then when detailed criticisms arose as to who the unauthorized writer was of the president's speech, our government glossed over the issue, saying only in the feudal age that such ridiculous plots will exist. But look, now one accusation after another. The president is due for a serious prosecution investigation by her own appointees of the public prosecutions. And she's searching for some sympathy votes by tossing the responsibility to the National Assembly, asking for them to appoint a new prime minister for her. This vicious cycle of avoiding the confrontation of truth and making incomplete confession only when exposed of guilt has tired the nation out and made herself an outlaw that disobeyed the law of the country, the morals as a president of the country, and the trust relationship a president shares with the people. Now is the time where we should critically revise from the beginning. At the time of presidential election, the intervention from the National Intelligence Service was exposed, yet the nation was not as upset as how we are now. In the sinking of Seolho, our hearts broke and were infuriated, but we had to suppress it and keep on living our lives. The government always made an excuse saying it's all for the good of our economy, but 36% of our national debt was increased. The Gaesang industrial complex was shut down ever so quickly, and the last remaining ties between the South and North of Korea were completely snapped. That deployment to South Korea has been pushed ahead, and now signing our General Security of Military Information Agreement with Japan. Ever since becoming our president, she had mentioned the economic benefits Korea will then have through these schemes and avoided our criticisms in the name of national security reasons. But 4 years later, after her government came into power, our national debt increased to 5 trillion won. This is a number that cannot be caught up even by combining the results of both President Lee and No's time in government. President Park Geun-hye has been running the government like the driver of a brakeless car, ignoring all the lights in the traffic without any constraint in the past 4 years of her presidency. In her presidential visits to overseas, she had promoted commercial products of businesses that she had personal relationships with her, and was also often seen using languages not of our own nation in a place where she should be proudly representing our country and our culture. And she's also well known for her indirect method of speech, only exposing her shallow depth of knowledge and indecisiveness. Watching her, the people of Korea stayed still and silent. Just like how our children stayed exactly where they were, still, silent, and vulnerable, as they were told to do so by the captain of Seolho, and now resting in the ice-cold water forever. Our president and her political party is telling us to keep our mouths shut and staying still and unresisting. Dear Korean residents in Auckland, or in New Zealand in general, I could not help but be infuriated by the president's scandalous friendship with Chae Soon-sil. I wish I could suppress my anger and remain silent, but I simply cannot. Up until now, the reason why the people of Korea wanted to endure the grievance and sense of injustice is only for the fact that President Park Geun-hye was voted by the people as our president of this democratic country. But she has privatized the privilege she was awarded by the people to a particular personal influence that the people of this nation do not know of. This is the biggest reason why she should resign from her office of presidency, and also why the Saenuri Party should also come to a serious awakening who had known of the president's true self and kept it silent before and after she became the president. To Today, we declare as follows. To President Park, who had abused the presidential privilege given by the people, you should resign from her office. To the Sanctuary Party, who had abused the vested rights granted by the President, this should come to dissolution. To the prosecution of the country, which is heavily influenced by the political allegiance to the current government in power, it should come to an awakening to suit its original purpose. Thank you.